So what if I'm wrong and there is a God, and not only that, what if Noah's Ark was a real thing that really happened, and not only that, but what if not only were there two of every animal, but there were two of every species of living thing, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, insect kingdom. Are the insects a kingdom? Like, I know they have a king, I just can't remember. I mean, it could be a monarchy. I think it's a constitutional monarchy, but I know they have a king. Anyway, two of every species, and not just the species that were known at the time, and not just the species that are known now, but every species, every distinct species as they were created by God, who's, it turns out, patiently waiting for us to discover all the species that he invented. And so there's like tiny microbial, invisible insect things that live down by the heat vents in the bottom of the ocean. And he's like, find them. I put so much energy, because it turns out he puts equal energy into every species. So he doesn't know. He totally doesn't get why we think we're such hot shit, because he's like, I don't consider you any better than the tiny microbial insects that live by the heat vent. So let's say that's actually the deal. So Noah's Ark, so you're thinking, well, how, you couldn't have had an ark that big, even though the tiny microbial things don't take up much room. You've got two of everything. You've got two of every, giant sequoia well, that's a species. Anyway, you've got two giant sequoias and two blue whales, right? You've got two of everything. And not just, you think it has to do with reproduction, but if you have plants, right, you wouldn't really need two, but there are still two for some reason. Two of every species, even if they're like asexual or hermaphroditic. Two of every starfish. It's just for some reason. And what if the solution to the size issue is, we think we live in a three-dimensional world, but they're actually, it turns out, string theory is right, and there's like 8 to 12 other dimensions, and they're folded up in a way that it's really hard to access them. But Noah figured it out. And so what if that's true? That'd be interesting. And we could actually, it turns out we could get to the ark now, because not only something to do with these 8 to 12 folded dimensions, they transcend time. Our three dimensions, time flows one direction. There's no going back in time in our three-dimensional world, but you can, if you access these folded up dimensions, there's no such thing as time. So if we access them, if we figured out how to access them, we could still see the ark, and Noah's sitting there, and Moses is on the ark for some reason. He's like 4,500 years old, or he's timeless, whatever, and he's like, you guys think you're such hot shit, doubting what's in the Bible, but it turns out it's way, way more profound and complicated than even the Bible makes it look like. And it turns out that it's not science versus faith. It's like you can only access the folded up dimensions if you combine science and faith in just the right mixture. Anyway, what if all that was true? That'd be cool. So I saw a commercial the other day for tequila. Cuervo, I guess, made it. And, there's a famous person doing the ad. Oh, I can't remember now. But anyway, the tagline to the commercial is, just don't have any regrets. Drink tequila. Because apparently tequila helps you avoid regrets, which I have to say has not been my experience with tequila. If anything, I've sort of thought of tequila as the regret maker. And why, you ask? Maybe you don't have your own experiences with tequila, because some of you out there have just never drank alcohol problematically. And to you I say, hurrah. But for some of us, tequila has created some regrets, and not actually helped us avoid any regrets at all. It's a curious ad campaign. It's like the opposite. It's like they're trying to just say that the opposite. It's like if Marlboro came out. Try our new lung cancer removal cigarettes. You smoke enough of them, and you have cancer at the beginning, your cancer will be gone towards the end. We think. So, yeah. Tequila. Drink tequila to avoid regrets. So, some of the things that I've done in my life as a result of drinking tequila, that had I not drank tequila, I would now have to regret these things not happening. Here we go. Well, I wouldn't have ever vomited on my steering wheel driving home on New Year's Eve. Not proud of that. Didn't stop driving, just kept driving. After having vomited on the steering wheel, went home, cleaned it up the next morning. I had combined the regret-avoiding tonic of tequila with other regret-avoiding tonics like gin, champagne, Jägermeister, stuff like that. So anyway, it was a bad mixture of things. And so yeah, if I had never drank tequila, I might be living in a world where I had to regret never having vomited on my steering wheel driving home. Also, there was a time where I had too much tequila in a hot tub at a party with some people, and it was at a guy's parents' house. It wasn't even at his parents were out of town. He was an older guy. Shouldn't be having parties at your parents' house when you're older. For instance, I would never have a party here for a lot of reasons. This is as close as I get to having a party when my parents aren't here. Still, I'm sheepish when they arrive, like last video. So this guy was having a party at his parents' house, and for some reason I went up into his parents' room and I vomited on the rug. And apparently the vomit was black. I may be losing viewers at this point. Apparently this is true, though. The vomit was black, and so people at work, at the restaurant I worked at, because everyone just joked around about problem drinking, you know. It's funny. So everyone called me Black Vomit for a little while. But I was concerned. Like, I thought maybe it was an indication that I was evil inside. I was really concerned. Like, why would my vomit be black unless it meant I was evil inside? And I don't even really believe in good and evil, you know. But I was concerned. And then I realized I just had a bunch of M&Ms, and that's why I was black from the chocolate. But it was a nerve-wracking couple of days before I sort of figured out that I'd had a lot of M&Ms. So if it weren't for the regret-avoiding tonic of tequila, I would have to potentially regret never having vomited black vomit all over the white rug of some guy's parents' house. But the coup de grace is I was waiting tables, and there was a coworker of mine, and we were friends, and I think she was interested in me romantically, and I wasn't interested in her. That's how I remember it. And I mainly wasn't interested in her because, I don't know, I guess to me, she was an attractive person, but she was sort of masculine. Her features were masculine. Nothing wrong with that. I just was not attracted to her, I guess is how it felt at the time. And that's neither here nor there, I guess. And it's not like I like to consider myself to be a post-gender person. So if we're living in a world in 30 years where we don't even see gender or we don't talk about it, I'm down with that. And people want to change genders several times. I don't care. It's all good with me. But anyway, I wasn't attracted to this person. But we went to this party, and at some point in the party, people started doing body shots. And if you've never done that, it's like you lick someone's body, and then you put salt there, and you lick the salt, and then you do a shot, and then you bite a lime which is in their mouth. It's some complicated, semi-erotic, logistically complicated maneuver. And so we're doing that stuff. And then next thing I know, I think, she's taking me home. This person's taking me home to my apartment in her truck, but I think I'm in the bed of her truck for some reason. And we go back to my place, and then something intimate happens. And I remember thinking, for one thing, I didn't even know how something intimate could happen under such circumstances because I was so severely compromised by the regret-avoiding wonder of tequila. So, I don't know, afterwards I felt a little ill-used. You know, we used to say, no means no. But now, right, the idea on college campuses, we're trying to put forward the idea that not only does no mean no, of course, but if someone doesn't specifically say yes, that means no. Seems much better. That way you can't just take advantage of someone who's had too much to drink and say, well, they didn't say no because they weren't speaking. So I felt ill-used. Anyway, none of those things would have happened, I would argue, were it not for tequila and me being an alcoholic, of course. I'm not trying to get out of my own responsibility. I just have some difficulty with tequila being advertised with the tagline, just don't have any regrets. I think if you never drink tequila, you're more likely to not have regrets than if you make a regular habit of drinking tequila. I think that's pretty clear. But maybe that works. Maybe advertising the exact opposite of the truth when advertising a product, maybe that can catch on. I don't know. Are you obese? Try drinking a gallon of mayonnaise every morning, right when you wake up. Maybe it'll make you skinny. We don't know. But it might. Are you going to believe us saying something that we haven't thought very carefully about, or are you going to believe scientists? Scientists are snotty intellectual pricks that don't love you. And we make mayonnaise and we do love you. So try it. Try it for a year, and then if you're not dead, file a lawsuit. We're pretty confident that most of you will be dead. Anyway. So yeah, don't drink tequila if you don't believe the thing about the regrets. That's what I'm saying, I guess. And wouldn't it be interesting if Noah's Ark really happened and is still happening in a folded up cluster of dimensions? Yeah, he's going into comedy. Can you tell? I did a bunch of takes with this one, and then I just went with the last one. They can't all be perfect. They can't. For instance, I don't know why my face is blue. It looks like it's really blue. I don't know. Anyway, that's all for now. See you next time.